Hello, so here I am with my newly created Amiga Power Brick where I've changed the insides, and this is how I'm going to test out that the thing actually works. You can make sure any Amiga power supply works this way. So we're basically just going to measure what the voltage is from each pin, that it's the correct voltage from the correct pin. And we're using a little car bulb, 12 volt bulb, to make sure we've got some load on there. Some power supplies don't like to run without load for very long. And it should be said that because there's multiple voltages and we're only testing one at a time, we don't want to run it for too long. So what I've got here is a couple of crocodile leads, which are currently connected to the ground pin and the +5 pin and the bulb, and then I've just kind of wedged the probes for the multimeter into the sides of these clips. So if I flick the power supply on, we should get something like 5 volts, which we do. Reading a bit low, but might be because this is the wrong kind of load for this. So now with it off, we'll change this around. Very important to make sure you've got the covered rubber clips so that they can't touch other pins at the same time and short things out. So let's check the center pin, which is the -12. Quite fiddly to get the clip on there and then get the insulation down between the other pins just to make sure it can't wiggle about. But yep, that's on, so we'll pop that down, see what we get. So we're getting -7.6. Maybe I have a bad connection. Let's try the +12. So get this all the way down to the end, so we're not. Let's actually make sure this one's on, because maybe it's leaking something to earth or something like that. Actually, some of these pins look a bit dirty, so could be that I don't have a very good connection there. Let's try the +12 and then go back to the others. Get it a bit further on there. Make sure we haven't got the middle pin wedged in. It's the trickiest one because it's next to the other thing. Let's try that. So +11. I'm just a bit worried about how far off the -12 was. Though I don't think there's a lot of power on the on either of the 12 volt rails, but I think especially the -1. So it could just be that I am putting a bit too much load on it. But I don't recall having this problem with the last one. Just really important we don't cross these pins, although the new power supply definitely does have short circuit protection, so nothing bad should happen, but why tempt fate? Yeah, it's still quite low, isn't it? Well, it's low rather than high, so it should be at least safe to try out on the Amiga. So that is how we can test what the voltages are. But as you can see, not 100% perfect. See how we go with plugging it into the real thing, I guess. And yes, spoiler, the power supply did work. So I can have an upstairs Amiga as well now. Two fully functional power supplies that I can trust. So the process we've seen here is that we can check all the pins and make sure that the voltages make sense. They are at least approximately the right values from the right pins. Things haven't been mixed around, they're not too high. So this is a good test of an old Amiga power supply or one that you have built to make sure it's going to be safe for your Amiga. Things I probably should have done were clean the pins up, either with alcohol or contact cleaner, or just maybe they need a bit of sanding or something if they are corroded or dirty. That's probably why the voltages were low. I don't believe the voltages really are low because it's run the my sacrificial A500 that I'm willing to take some risks on, and it's running my A1200 perfectly now. Still some things to interpret on your part, obviously, and you need to take care with this stuff, but as a rough test to give the power supply some load and then check the voltages, this is a reasonable method to do it, and all you need is a multimeter and a bulb. So, good luck, happy Amigaing, and I'll see you around.